The 5075B Plus have been around for more than a year now, and it's safe to say that lately there's been a lot of competition with it, especially in its price range. So in this video, we're gonna go and see if this is still worth it like it was in 2022, and see what changed in this new version that they sent out, if there is any. By the way, Akko did send me this keyboard for review. All thoughts and opinions in this video are unbiased. The box the 5075B Plus comes with contains the keyboard itself wrapped in PE foam and with an acrylic dust cover. Pretty handy if you ask me. And an accessory box containing extra silicone gaskets, extra switches of your choice, in this case some Akko Cream Yellow Pros, a switch puller, a keycap puller, and a straight cable. And here's the 5075B Plus in the Dark Knight colorway with shine-through keycaps. It's a really stealthy keyboard and the blacks are absolutely black. This is unlike their Dracula Castle colorway, which is on the grayer side and not black at all. And the finish of the paint has this rough texture too that you can feel. On the sides is your typical Akko LED sidebar, and at the back is where we'll find a niche for the dongle. Bonus points for it being tight since you don't want to deal with it falling off. Also, there's these two-staged adjustable feet for you to get comfy in finding the most comfortable typing angle. Before everything else, the stock sound test. If this is up to your standards, then at this point there should be enough reason for you to get this keyboard. But if it's still not enough, don't worry though. Further in this video, we're going to be giving it some mods to give it a more resounding sound profile. Let's talk stabilizers. The stabilizers are okay. They used to be the best stabilizers in 2022 though. Given that most stabilizers back then needed to be wholly modded, but this one just needs minimal lubing. It still does. Out of the box, there are some minimal ticks present throughout. Compared to some keyboards that came out though, this definitely falls behind. The keycaps are their very own ASA profile shine-through PBT keycaps. The thickness on these are not too thin, but they aren't too thick either. Knowing Akko, they produce very good quality keycaps, so no worries there. The kit they gave me also came with their Cream Yellow Pros with box stems. I'm not really a huge fan of box stems, as I prefer the old ones, but with some love and elbow grease, they can be better. And as shown in the video just now, the board comes with a hot swap PCB. So, change the switches to your heart's content. LEDs are north facing too, so you can expect this board to really shine with RGB. Lights on or lights off. Now the modding part. Let's start off with removing everything that we can with a keycap puller and switch puller. In this case though, I'm using my own, but feel free to use what Akko gave you. Pull the knob too and put it to the side. Once you have just the bare bones kit laid out, flip it to its back and pry with whatever tool you have. I've modded a lot of these in the past and I've used some old credit cards, so that can work too. Just be careful and don't pry too hard. Duh. Then once the top case opens up, gently lift up the PCB and remove the two JST connectors with either your fingers or some tweezers like I did right here. Then grab your screwdriver with a Phillips head or bit, then remove the PCB screws holding the assembly together. Put that to the side. Judging from the internals, there wasn't really any improvement at all. The gaskets remain to be silicone. PCB it comes with is still the same, which has no flex cuts and has a 1.2mm thickness. This IXPE sheet that you absolutely must get rid of because I'm not a fan of it. The plate silicone, which further just mutes the board, and I wish they could opt for Poron instead because it's just better. And the polycarbonate plate, all pretty standard. So the first mod we're gonna do is cut the silicone here at the spacebar area so that maintenance and relubing it can be easier to do. You can push this back in once it's done and it can still give you the same sound profile and performance, no worries there. Second is we're gonna replace the black IXPE sheet with 0.15mm thickness PE foam that I got over online. I know what you're thinking. And no, you cannot absolutely use the PE foam the board came wrapped around with. Just know, something that has to do with static and all that, use it at your own risk. Once you have a PE foam sheet laid down, cut everything to size to match the PCB and cut some holes around the stabilizer area so it doesn't get mushy when you press. Once that's done, put everything back together and then put on the switches so we don't risk the hot swap sockets pushing out of place, then screw it down. And then grab your tape, we're gonna do the Tempest tape mod. Grab any painter's tape that you can find. Make sure it is painter's tape though, since this type of tape doesn't leave residue after a while. We'll be putting 2 layers of tape. Feel free to go to 3 if you want, but there's really not too much difference. Next thing is we're gonna grab the IXPE sheet we put aside earlier and use it for the only thing it's good for. To trace it around this EVA foam, we'll put a under the PCB to act as case foam. So there's further dampening and to reduce that hollow plasticky sound. This doesn't have to be perfectly cut, but if you can, do it by all means. Don't forget to cut around the JST wires and the wireless switch right here. Don't forget this, or else you'll break it. Then put everything back together. Plug all JSTs and then grab the top case and press it down. Once everything is clipped back in, feel free to put everything back together. Oh, I also re-lubed and retuned the stabilizers on this keyboard, but I didn't realize that my camera died halfway when I was putting the keycaps on, so whoops. You'll see the difference later in the sound test. But do comment down below if you want to see me make a guide on how to re-lube and retune your standard plate mount stabilizers. And now the sound test for the 5075B Plus modded. So everything put together, it's overall a 6 out of 10 for me. And a 7.5 out of 10 for me with all the modifications we've done. It's definitely up there, especially if you're into the looks of this. But the competition nowadays is really steep, especially when it comes to value for your money. However, the best thing to factor in when it comes to Akko's products is their after sales. They're one of the absolute best when it comes to customer service. And it's something no other keyboard brand can replicate. And trust me, a lot of my clients prefer that over any good sounding keyboard. That's gonna be me for this video. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.